Okay, I'm gonna go over just a very quick how to use SolidWorks for laser cutting. We will be using this a little bit later, right after this, and then in making our boxes next class. So you go up to, we're in the part, you go up to sketch. You can choose any plane. I usually try to choose the top plane, not that it really matters. But this is where you can draw your shapes. So if I want squares, circles, some of you may use coins. And that's great. If I want to figure out what the dimensions are, I go up to Smart Dimension. And right now I'm in millimeters, so I can, if I want to make them 1 inch, I can put 1 inch, and that's 25.4 millimeters. Now, let's say I want to make 100 of these coins. I probably don't want to copy paste or definitely don't want to draw them a bunch of times. So up here at the top, there's the linear sketch pattern. Very helpful. So in the x-axis, which is facing right, I can move them 10 millimeters. I want them to be probably about 30 millimeter spacing. Maybe I'll make a bunch. I could even do it in the y-axis. First, we need our entity, so I'm going to choose my circle. So now you can see I've got 7 in the x-axis, and we can go in the y-axis as well. I also want to space them out. Now, you want to be, again, we're not trying to create a bunch of waste. So trying to space them out, I could even go maybe down to 27 millimeters, 27 millimeters, just so I don't have a bunch of empty space that I throw in the trash. So if you like that, that's great. Now I've got 7 by 5, 35 different coins here. I would not add text. Adding text is difficult. It's easier to do in RD Works, and so that's what I would recommend. Okay, so that's using the linear sketch pattern. If you want, yeah, it's a nice way to do it. You can move stuff and all that. You can do the same thing with boxes and all. All right, I'm gonna delete this. Okay. One other thing that I think can be helpful is if I want pieces that connect. So that's something I did with my game. Um, Other people too. Some of you might work with hexagons. So if I'm doing a hexagon, I want these to be 60 degrees. So you can use your smart dimension. Or you can make equilateral. All right, there's different ways to do it. Um, Honestly, I can delete this line, delete this line. Now, if I put a node right here, so if I just put a dot, that's great. Um, so, if you want, you can do center lines, if it's a line that you don't care about. I'm going to eventually, what I'm doing is I'm going to rotate this around all 360 degrees, and so we can get a nice hexagon. But what I'm going to do right now is if I want these interlocking, so this is kind of the pattern that I did. You can do whatever pattern you want, something like this. Now I can delete this line. And so it looks something like this. And so eventually I'm going to take it, I'm going to rotate it around this point. Not yet, because it doesn't look super good. First off, I'm going to keep this as is. And if I wanted to, I could, if I wanted to be really nice with it, maybe I want to make this 2 inches or something. Okay, now I'm going to draw a center line up here, and I want to get my, uh, let's see, if I want to move this over here and this over here, we'll deal with that soon. I just added a center line. I want to be able to, um, get this where I need it. So let's see. I've got my dimensions. Here's a nice easy trick. So if I hold control, I can make these collinear. That's what they need to be, and equal. So now those two are equal. I can kind of shift these, shift these, shift these. I'll do the same thing here. Click one, hold control, hit another one. That will be equal. And I can kind of play around with that. Same thing with this. I'm going to make this equal. Nope, that's that. Equal. This one, control, equal. Now, this line I kind of forgot about. It's not working great with me. I need this to be collinear. So I hold control, click, collinear. Okay, so it's starting to look a little bit better. Some of these things are getting equal. Now I can put a dimension on this. So if I don't want this to be so deep, I can make it as, let's say, 5 millimeter. And I can also put this as, let's say, 8 millimeter or something. And um, I've got a little bit of a weird shape here. So I want um, this. Maybe I'm going to move it. Or I can say I want this to be 1 inch, something like that. And I'm still kind of dealing with not that great. Now, with my line, I can select this, do control here, and I can say I want it to be coincident. So now I've got this centered on here, and I don't actually want this to be 1 inch. I'm going to do 0.5 inches. And let's say that I want these to be 15 millimeters or something. Okay, now it's looking a little bit better. So, the last thing I need is for this to be, I'm going to use my center lines. I'm going to create a triangle because my node kind of changed since the last time. So I'm going to make this uh, 60 degrees. Okay, now we're good. So I'm going to delete this dot. I'm going to put a new dot right here. And now I can delete these. And really, you don't want hidden lines. You really don't want them for your, I'm going to take this point, I'm going to fix it. So you can do that over here. I'm going to fix the relations. And now I have something that's pretty good to use. I know that it's equal spacing. I know I was on that center line, so it's all equal spacing. And I can actually take this and uh, I can fix it. I can take this, I can fix it. Obviously, you can, maybe I can't do that. Maybe it's having some trouble with it. Okay. So, we've got it now set up so it's able to rotate. Again, for a hexagon, I'm going to do 60-degree triangles. You can do 90-degree, you can make a square, whatever. But this is where I'm going to use the circular sketch pattern up here. So instead of linear, it's circular. I'm going to choose the entities to pattern, which is all of these. I'm going to choose these lines, all of them. Okay, and then it wants to know, well, where are we going around? Well, I'm going around here. Instead of doing 4 of them, I'm going to do 6 of them. And so that's how you can create a board piece that connects all with each other. That's kind of how I made mine. It's possible to do. So we have the piece, and I, one thing I would make sure of is, well, first it all connects. It all connects. That's good. I had it all, formatted correctly. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the last step for laser cutting. So let's say I'm in my drawing. I like what I've got. I could take all of this and I could do a linear sketch pattern and make it 2.5 inches. That's not enough. 4 inches. It's a little too close for comfort. So how about 4.1 inches? Okay, and then I can, make multiple of them. Great. I've got my different pieces. I want to try it out again. I would add text in RDWorks, but how do we get to RDWorks? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do File Save As. So I'm still in the drawing. Okay, File Save As. Wait. Yeah, that's what I want. File Save As. And instead of doing a SolidWorks part, I am going to do, it's up here somewhere, a DXF. So I can save it as pieces DXF. DXF is the file you need for RDWorks. So that's it. I'm still in the drawing. I'm not going to extrude it. I've seen some students do that. We're not going to extrude these. You just want to make sure that you're on there. Now, actually, this next part is very important. It's going to ask you what views to export. So you can either do current, I'm on the top, so it doesn't really matter, but my current view, I'm looking straight at it. And we're going to create a single file. So we hit OK, and this is what it pops up. So if I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, so let's say you have a lot of hidden lines. Do not include hidden lines. For your boxes, do not, I wouldn't even include lines where you want to fold it. You just want the outside, whatever you're cutting. You can add any other fold lines or dotted lines, or whatever. You can add that in RDWorks. I would leave it at that because usually when you export this, all those lines are somewhat connected. You can't change the colors. So if I don't want these dots cut out, let's say, I don't want a hole in the center. I can click on one of them and hit remove entity. So if I have any hidden lines or anything, I can just remove them like that, and boom, now we're ready to go. So I will save this. That's my DXF. There's a bunch of zip drives in the makerspace where you can then take that from your computer, put it into the lab computer, load it up as a DXF, and then again, you can put text on here, you can put fold lines, whatever you want. I would just only do the cut lines through SolidWorks. Cool. All right. Go for it. Design a box. We can cut them out next class. Yeah.